no, these YouTubers did not leak the FNAF movie, but they did give us a bunch of information that could be considered leaks, so be wary of that. Hey girls, guys, and all people like it, is Mox here, and hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about more FNAF movie news and leaks. There has been crazy amount of leaks within the past week, I want to say. It's been nuts. It's been insane. There's a bunch of stuff that was posted on April 1st, so kind of weird. Feels weird to have posted stuff on April Fool's, so take everything, I guess, with a grain of salt. And also, it's a little hard to keep track of where all the sources for all this news is because there's just a lot. There's a lot going on. But we're back here on the FNAF Movie Updates Twitter page. We're gonna start down here. All right, so first off, if I'm not mistaken, the FNAF movie is finished filming. It is completely done. That is like amazing. That's super cool news. But that doesn't mean that the movie is coming soon. It just means the filming's done. Now they need to do editing, music work, all that extra movie magic stuff. So don't expect a trailer or anything too soon. But Blumhouse has teased some very big news coming soon, which I'll talk about in just a second. So first off, we have a post from Matthew Lillard's, I didn't mess up his name this time, his Instagram, which I feel like I should give him a follow actually, just to like keep up to date. And I'll follow him on my Moxharian Instagram clips Instagram page. That I feel like I said it's super weird, but it's where I'm going to be posting clips and YouTube shorts and all that fun stuff. Bam, follow. And as we see here in the post, it's him saying, "I always come back," and that's super cool. Of course, William Afton reference, and he finished filming, which is super cool. I'm so hyped to see how he does in the upcoming movie. Another thing we have is word on Mike Schmidt's theme, which is super cool. I'm really interested to hear that because, like I said in the last video talking about FNAF movie news, music and sound design and all that stuff is extremely important in both games and movies, and it's a big deal. So it's cool to know that Mike Schmidt's gonna have his own theme. I really like that. I like when characters themselves have their own kind of theme, I guess. It's cool. We're like leading up to the bigger stuff. Just bear with me for a second here. Some more background stuff. Eric Stratemeyer, question mark, I don't know if I said that right. He's doing stunt stuff. He's utility stunts, which is super cool, which lets us know that there's going to be stunts involved, which is, well, I think, kind of inevitable, but it's good to know that stunts are being done in person, not CG. I don't think that's surprising for this movie though. All right, now we're starting to get into some big stuff. Like I said in the last video, a bunch of YouTubers got to go onto the set, talk to Scott, all that super cool stuff, and they've actually like got to see things that are important, which is surprising to me. Usually when you hear of people getting to go on set, they don't show them much of anything that can be spoiled, at least to my knowledge. You go on there, maybe you see some behind the scenes stuff that is kind of spoilery, but of course you have to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. I think that's the right acronym. But they were actually allowed to say some of the things that they've seen, and it's not story spoilery, which I'm really happy for, but it is going to be covering spoilers for the movie. So if you don't like that, head on out. Maybe stay away from this Twitter page for a little bit, but we're going to jump into it. I have not seen any of their videos talking about it, and I would like to watch them at some point, but I don't want to cover them here. I'll just link them down in the description. You can go watch them. But real quick before you go, all of that stuff that they talked about has been combined into this nice little post here by Henry Emily, who actually runs the FNAF Movie Updates Discord server and Twitter account. And I don't know if that means this, like the one we're on now, or the other one that they had interacted with. I know, I think it is this one. Very cool. Go give them a follow. Also, like I said, keep in mind, this comes from multiple YouTubers, so you're probably not going to find all of this in one person's video. Or maybe you will. I don't know how they divvied that info up. I don't know. Okay, so the animatronics are very expensive, more so than Dawko & Co. thought they would be. I love that. Good to know that they have a lot of funding going into them because they're the most important part. We have confirmation that real animatronics are being used in addition to costumes. I love that so much. Practical effects I love them. I don't know who doesn't love practical effects. They're super important, and it's cool because it gives that authenticity to the animatronics. I think it's going to be super cool. The animatronics are very accurate to the games, and that's super good to know because good, we're not going to get another Mandela effect. I think I talked about that in a previous video as well, where a lot of people were actually thinking that the FNAF Plus animatronics were the original FNAF animatronics, and it's like, no, that is not true whatsoever. So it's cool that they're going to be accurate, but I'm interested to see how spooky they're actually going to be, because when I look at them, they don't, maybe it's just because I've been playing FNAF since it's come out, they're not scary to me anymore. They're just things, and I don't know, they give off more friendly vibes than spooky vibes to me now. So I'm interested to see how spooky they look in the movie. Moving on though, the show stage looks identical to the one in the FNAF 1 trailer with the wooden clouds and giant sun. Apparently there's also a show stage button. So that stage I feel like we don't ever really see very clearly except for in that trailer. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can only remember that stage from the trailer. So it's really cool we're gonna get to see it more because the stage is also a big part of, you know, the whole FNAF experience, because that's where the animatronics are gonna be most of the time. And this show stage button, I'm assuming, is gonna be like a little button that they push to like unveil the stage, like to part the curtains and everything. When I first read this, I had some different theories, but now, like, reading it again, that makes the most sense. I had theorized originally in conjunction with this next comment. There's a scene in the movie that moves the tables and chairs. I had, for some reason, thought that I was way overthinking it, I feel like. I was thinking you press the show stage button and it maybe, like, turns the tables and chairs to, like, look at the stage. I think that's a little high-tech for what's going on in this movie. So yeah, I think I super overthought that. Pretty sure it's just gonna be push, unveil, very cool. Now that makes me think that the moving of tables and chairs is gonna be like some kind of paranormal element, or there's just gonna be a scene where the chairs and tables are getting like tossed around, or in those like supernatural prank videos where, you know, I think there's a pretty famous one where someone like accidentally uses telekinesis and it like super pushes all the things away. It's cool. We're getting super off topic, but I feel like it could be something like that. Anyway, the prize counter is also confirmed with plushies too. I love that. Very cool. I wonder if we're gonna get some authentic like FNAF plushies, like movie prop plushies type thing, or if they're just gonna take plushies that they've already made, because if you've ever been to Hot Topic, FNAF has a plethora of different plushies there, so they're not in any short supply of those. They got arcade machines that seem generic. I think an arcade is a pretty important part of a set like this, so it's just cool to see them. I wouldn't expect any super name brand ones because I think you'd have to pay for that or get a sponsorship from that person. I don't know a lot of movie stuff. Pretty sure that's how it works though. Some areas are straight lifted from the books and FNAF 2. That is awesome and also interesting because FNAF 1, I feel like a lot of people would correlate first FNAF movie, you get the FNAF 1 set, which isn't necessarily true, I feel like, because if you know very much about the games and the lore, the games are not necessarily in order. Some of them are prequels, some of them were like super prequels and sequels, etc. So I love that. I'm really excited to see this. And the FNAF 2 like pizzeria had an amazing like spooky vibe to it. I loved it. One of my favorites. Got a kitchen, hallways, bathrooms, supply closet, and a parts and service room. There is also a very cool scene involving the parts and service room. So I'm going to overlay all those from either one or two of the games on screen now, and I am super excited to see the parts and service room. Also editing me if you can put up the FNAF Plus video with the parts and service room. There's a lot of potential with a room like that for like very spooky scenes and some very supernatural cool scenes. I'm very excited to see it. If I tried to come up with a quick theory of what the scene would be, they're saying it's a very cool scene. So if they do go like a supernatural, I think maybe we could see some kind of like just spooky movement from like maybe eyes and different parts moving and stuff. Maybe like a view of one of the spirits, possibly, or just a really cool scene showing how the animatronics work if they go for something more practical and less story-based. I'm not sure what they mean by very cool scene, but I'm very hyped to see it. The Office is the most accurate set. Already very cool. The Celebrate posters, the fan, the computer monitors, all accurate from the first game. One thing is slightly changed, however, being described as a twist by Razbowski. I'm sorry if I said their name wrong. I don't really watch a lot of their videos, but maybe I'll give them a look-see. I cannot wait to see what the office looks like in person because just the FNAF office is iconic. It's a very, very important part of the games and the lore and now the movie. And I'm very interested to see what this twist is because I can't think of it. Like the only thing I can really think of is the FNAF Plus office where there's the puppet's mask, but like I can't see how that's really a twist. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys have any theories, please let me know down in the comments below because I'm not too sure. The cameras and doors are important to the plot, being used quite heavily in the films. That I think is not surprising in the slightest, considering how the FNAF games work. The cameras and doors are the most important part to the gameplay, so I would expect them to have a pretty big part in the film. But importance to the plot is what intrigues me the most, because like I said in my previous videos, you can't just have Mike sitting in the office for the whole movie. That's gonna be, I can't see that being very exciting or interesting to watch. So they have to be doing something different. So I'm thinking they're just gonna be very cool like scene pieces, but again, that's not really plot based. I'm not sure. If you guys, again, have any ideas, let me know. The show stage lights are very important to certain shots, being used to make the animatronics look more threatening. Lighting is a very, very important part of like horror and whatnot, and it makes a huge difference when you change lighting even just a little bit. So I'm glad to know they're using lighting to their advantage. I would have expected them to anyway. Razbowski, says the story is very, I don't know if that's a typo or not, or if that's something that he says. I'm so sorry again. Satisfying? Quoting, obviously it's changed, but it's the same story you know and love, but it has been altered. This definitely lets us know that they know a lot about the story. I feel like they just showed them like what they filmed so far, and we're just like, yeah, just don't tell everybody too much, please. We don't want spoilers. I really want to know what that was like, and maybe they said exactly what that was like in one of the videos. I'll give that a watch after this. But what he's saying is exactly what I would have expected. It's the same story you know and love, but changed because you can't fit all that stuff into a short amount of movies. They would have. It's crazy. It's insane. Mike and Vanessa have scenes together. Is that even news? Very true. I talked about about this a lot in my timelines video, also linked down below and in one of the cards somewhere, wherever the cards button is on screen. Editing box, point me in the right direction, please. But yeah, I would have expected them to have scenes together. Very cool. And maybe it'll go exactly like how I said in my timeline. Who knows? Mike's storyline and arc is very emotional. I love that. And I'm happy it's not just a standard, this is the game, the movie is the same thing. Like, I like that they're improving upon it and creating scenes that you can actually get emotional over. That is really cool. I'm a huge fan of movies that make you think and they make you feel things. It just gives me really cool vibes. It's bringing me back to like original FNAF, and I really love it. Rosbowski describes Abby's character as a lighthearted, vulnerable character and will blow us away. I don't know if I said this in a previous video. I think I did in the last one, but it is confirmed that Abby is going to be replacing Elizabeth pretty much from the games to the books. So very cool that we're going to get to see Abby, and I really like that, like, she's getting up enough of a part where she leaves an impression on the viewer. Very cool. It might make it more emotional when or if she gets launched by by one of the animatronics. Moving on though, Vanessa is used very well in the film and also has a strong emotional arc. I really like that. Very questionable with the emotional arc though, because I did want her to be used in a good way, like, and not a ridiculous way like was used in the games. So I'm happy she's getting used well, like they say here. But a strong emotional arc is interesting because that definitely means her backstory is going to get fleshed out, which now that I think of it makes me think of my previous video again, where I said maybe she'd have a role like Carlton's father from the Silver Eyes books, where she has worked this case and it means a lot to her, because that's like a huge thing in like cop stories and shows and movies and stuff, where a case will mean a whole lot to them and they finally get it solved or something, and it's just big emotional moment. And I feel like they can do that really well for this. And Freddy apparently sings at one point, which I love. I don't know if Freddy has singed in any of the games. We have Foxy singing. I think Bonnie even has a song at some point. Question mark. Obviously, we have the Marionette's music box, all that stuff. I wonder if they're going to make it like real spooky, like the FNAF Plus videos and other spooky FNAF VHS type videos. I think that's a smart choice because it reminds me of, like, you know, when I was a kid going to like Chuck E. Cheese, for example. You get there and those animatronics are massive. They're like looming over you. And if you're not good with that type of stuff as a kid, it's terrifying. A lot of kids are super spooked of those Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. And I'm sure a big part of it is because they are huge. They're massive. And I'm super hyped to see how they look, like maybe standing over Mike at some point and just looking down on him, and it's going to be a very cool scene, I'm sure. There's a lot of Easter eggs from all the games and some of the books in the franchise. Amazing Easter eggs in FNAF and just games in general, and movies made after games, so I'm super happy to see that. I'm very curious as to what Easter eggs are going to be, and you better believe I'm going to do one of those Easter egg hunt type videos where I'm going to watch the movie, get all the Easter eggs, all that fun stuff. So stay tuned for that in, what, like a year or two? Apparently Blumhouse is planning a huge reveal for the animatronic designs. I am so hyped for that. I will definitely be making a full video about that when it happens. And am I following Blumhouse Studios? I don't know what this is. What is this for? Oh my god, I almost freaked out. I saw this while scrolling through the Blumhouse Twitter page, and I was like, literally, what is this? Hello? What's happening? It's from a different movie called The Forever Purge, I think. Jesus, I almost had a heart attack, like I missed something massive. Sorry, jumping quickly back to the Freddy singing thing. FNAF songs, I don't know how that slipped my mind. I listen to them all the time while I'm filming these videos. I don't know how I could have not thought of that. They're a huge part of the community, so just, it's gonna be super cool. I'm sure it's gonna spark a lot more fan-made songs. I'm really excited to hear them, because a lot of them are amazing. But yeah, that's gonna be just about it. We've pretty much covered everything that I know of so far, and I am super excited for the reveal. Stay tuned for that video. Hopefully it comes soon. And I just can't wait to see more stuff about the FNAF movie. I'm super hyped. And if you guys know of any news that I missed, please let me know down in the comments below. And if there's just anything that you want to theorize about, let me know down there, or in my Discord page, always linked down in the description. Another thing linked down in the description is my clothing brand, the Nostalgia Corporation. It's my clothing company based all around the idea of nostalgia. We have a bunch of designs coming soon, and new hoodies, new shirts, all that fun stuff. Very cool, very hyped. So if you're interested in the idea of nostalgia and clothes, first link in the description below. Anyway, but yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. See you all in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Stay tuned. I botched my whole outro. Have a good one.